Hey Cowboys Nation, welcome back. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about situations surrounding the Dallas Cowboys this season, Trayvon Diggs. The cornerback who has been in the headlines for weeks now, teasing a potential return, has everyone on edge trying to figure out what the next step looks like for him and the team. Fans have been eagerly waiting to see if Diggs will suit up this week, and the questions are piling up. The Cowboys officially designated him to return at the end of November, and that opened a 21-day window where he could be activated and step back onto the field. While the timeline technically allows for some flexibility, the speculation has intensified because every week without Diggs raises more questions about the team's defensive rotation and the impact on matchups down the line. As of now, Diggs is still working to get back into game shape. Missing over a month of live reps is significant, and even the most talented players need time to regain their timing, conditioning, and confidence on the field. That's the main reason why the anticipated return hasn't happened yet. Meanwhile, the Cowboys' cornerback room has been shuffled multiple times this season. Players like Savone Revel have stepped up in unexpected ways, and some depth chart moves may even suggest he is ahead of Kalen Carson at certain points. Don Bland and Reddy Stewart have had their moments, though inconsistently, and Trickus Bridges hasn't seen much action at all. If Diggs returns, the coaches will face a critical decision on how to rearrange the rotation. Will Bland see more snaps in the nickel? Will Diggs and Revel get the outside assignments? Those are questions that could define the secondary for the rest of the season. Trayvon Diggs has had a career marked by highs and lows. There have been games where quarterbacks completely avoid throwing his way, a testament to his impact when he is in peak form. Yet there have been other instances when he has been targeted and struggled, showing inconsistency that cannot be ignored. Meanwhile, the rest of the secondary has had its struggles as well, raising concerns about coaching strategies and player fit. The Cowboys' defensive schemes sometimes appear to put players in situations that limit their natural strengths. For Diggs, being in press coverage and man-to-man matchups plays to his strengths, but often the schemes have leaned on zone assignments that do not allow him to maximize his talent. It's a delicate balance, and the timing of his return will influence not just his performance, but the effectiveness of the entire defensive backfield. Beyond the immediate questions of rotation and matchups, there's the ongoing discussion about Diggs' long-term future with the team. Some reports suggest that his time in Dallas may be winding down. While he still has 3 years and a significant portion of his contract remaining, the relationship between him and the front office has seen tension. Injuries, missed games, and inconsistent play have all contributed to a complicated dynamic. There is no guarantee that the Cowboys will retain him beyond this season, and every week that he is absent only fuels speculation about whether the team will look to move in a different direction. The internal perspective from team leadership is nuanced. Coach Brian Schottenheimer has commented on his relationship with Diggs, noting mutual respect while also hinting at the complexities that come with having honest, sometimes difficult conversations. These comments reveal the human side of team dynamics, showing that beyond statistics and on-field performance, personalities and communication styles play a role in how players and coaches interact. Diggs' return is not just about skill, but also about how he fits into the larger team environment. Statistically, the picture is mixed. While Diggs had a standout season back in 2021 with 11 interceptions, his production has been less consistent over the past 4 seasons, accumulating only 6 interceptions combined. Injuries and limited game action have played a role, but the result is that his impact has not matched the expectations set earlier in his career. The Cowboys, in turn, have had to navigate defensive challenges with him absent, leaning on younger players to fill the void. Savone Revel, a recent draft addition, has had to step into a larger role than anticipated, highlighting how much depth matters when key contributors are sidelined. From a financial standpoint, Diggs' contract is also a factor in the conversation. While he has a substantial contract on paper, none of the remaining money is fully guaranteed. This creates a scenario where the Cowboys have to weigh performance against financial commitments and strategic planning for the roster. There are clear figures for potential savings if the team decides to release him, and those numbers influence decision-making. At the same time, if Diggs were to return and perform at an elite level, it could change the calculus entirely. For now, all eyes are on his recovery and readiness. This week's games carry added significance. Fans are not just watching for team performance, but also for hints about Diggs' timeline. Will he be activated? How will the defensive scheme adapt around him? Every play, every snap, and every practice update feeds into the narrative, making the anticipation almost as intense as the on-field action itself. Cowboys Nation is weighing in with opinions and predictions, debating whether he will make an immediate impact or whether the wait will extend further into the season. The conversations in the comment sections are lively, reflecting the passion of the fan base and the high stakes of this potential return. Meanwhile, there are broader implications for the team's defensive identity. Diggs has been a cornerstone in past seasons, but the Cowboys have had to adjust to his absence. The evolution of the secondary, the development of younger players, and the testing of new combinations have all been part of the season's story. His eventual return is not just about one player stepping back onto the field. It represents a potential shift in how the defense operates, how assignments are made, and how matchups are handled against top offenses. The coaching staff faces strategic questions that hinge on his readiness, his health, and his ability to execute under pressure. At the same time, the human element cannot be overlooked. Players recovering from injuries have to regain confidence, timing, and trust in their bodies. For Diggs, it is not only about physical readiness, but also mental preparation. The psychological aspect of returning to game action after time away can influence performance, and the team's medical and coaching staff must balance caution with urgency. Each decision about practice participation, snap counts, and game day activation affects both short-term outcomes and long-term career trajectories. As the discussions continue, Cowboys Nation is buzzing about potential scenarios. Will Diggs return this week and make an immediate impact, or will the wait continue? How will this affect the defensive rotation, and what does it mean for the team's playoff aspirations? The situation is dynamic, with every report, practice update, and team comment adding another layer to the unfolding story. Fans, analysts, and insiders alike are tracking every detail, aware that the decisions made now could resonate throughout the season. Picking up where we left off, the conversation about Trayvon Diggs naturally transitions into his contract situation and the long-term decisions the Dallas Cowboys face. Despite having 3 years left and a substantial amount of money on his deal, none of that is fully guaranteed. This creates a scenario where performance, consistency, and health weigh heavily against the financial commitment the team will be taking on if they choose to keep him. The cap implications are significant. If the Cowboys decide to move on before June, they save a notable portion of salary, while waiting until after June only slightly increases those savings. These numbers make it clear that the front office has to balance on-field potential with fiscal responsibility. The team's patience has been tested this season, given Diggs' extended absence and the inconsistency he has shown in games he has played. Diggs' injury history adds another layer of complexity. Missing game action and dealing with recovery can impact a player's rhythm and timing. A cornerback thrives on repetition, on reading quarterbacks and adjusting in real time. Being sidelined for weeks means he has to rebuild not only his conditioning, but also his mental acuity for game situations. Every drill in practice, every snap in controlled scrimmages becomes an essential part of preparing him to reintegrate into a defense that has adapted in his absence. The coaching staff is acutely aware of this, and while there is optimism about his return, there is also caution to avoid rushing him back too soon. The balance between readiness and risk is delicate, particularly when considering playoff implications and the long-term health of a key player. The performance of the Cowboys' secondary in Diggs' absence has been a mixed bag. Savon Revel has stepped up in ways that were unexpected for a young player, showing flashes of high-level play, but also struggling with consistency. Don Bland and Reddy Stewart have been rotating in the lineup with varying degrees of success, while Trickus Bridges has largely remained on the sidelines. The defensive rotations have been fluid, with coaches experimenting to find the right combination that mitigates weaknesses and maximizes the strengths of those available. If Diggs returns, it will shift these dynamics once again, creating new matchups and potentially changing the way the defense is schemed. Questions loom about who will see more snaps, whether Bland will move to the nickel package, and how Diggs and Revel can be deployed most effectively on the outside. The decisions made here will influence the team's defensive performance in critical games. Looking at the broader context, the Cowboys management has had a complicated relationship with Diggs over time. Reports suggest that frustrations have surfaced in the past, particularly regarding missed games, recovery timelines, and the perceived lack of alignment with team expectations. The narrative from the front office has often highlighted patience and opportunity, but there are subtle signals that the window for long-term commitment may be closing. If Diggs returns and excels, it could reset the conversation, but if inconsistency continues, the team may explore other options in the offseason. Trade possibilities appear limited, primarily due to the combination of his performance decline, injuries, and substantial contract. Even though some reports speculate about movement, the practical likelihood of a trade seems low. This positions the Cowboys with a critical decision: to retain a player with potential upside but uncertainty, or to pivot toward developing younger talent who can step into a more stable role. In addition to the immediate concerns about Diggs, there is a parallel discussion happening around other key defensive players, notably Kenneth Murray. Murray has been under scrutiny for his performance, or lack thereof, this season. Critics point out that while the team highlights his physicality and run-stopping ability, game film often shows him avoiding contact or failing to maintain gap discipline. Instances of him jumping out of his assigned gaps, failing to shed blocks, and generally not fulfilling the responsibilities of his position have become a recurring frustration for fans and analysts alike. There's growing sentiment that the Cowboys may need to reevaluate his role or even consider benching him if performances do not improve. This creates another layer of complexity for the defensive strategy, as the team needs reliable playmakers in the middle of the field to complement outside coverage and ensure the overall integrity of the scheme. Logan Wilson has emerged as a point of comparison, demonstrating more consistent play and awareness in his assignments. While he may not be a perfect solution or a game-changing upgrade, his steadiness provides a contrast to the inconsistency displayed by Murray. The Cowboys coaching staff has to balance these realities, determining who can be trusted in high-pressure moments and who might benefit from further development before being relied upon in critical situations. These decisions affect not only immediate game planning, but also long-term roster construction and the potential for success in upcoming seasons. Returning to Diggs, the timing of his activation carries narrative weight beyond statistics and contracts. Fans are closely watching reports from practice, player interviews, and coaching comments for any indication of readiness. Every rumor or small update sparks debate about whether he will be ready to contribute this week or if the wait will extend further. The uncertainty affects expectations for upcoming matchups and shifts the way analysts and fans alike evaluate the Cowboys' defensive outlook. The interplay between anticipation and performance becomes a storyline in its own right, emphasizing the human element of professional sports where preparation, injury recovery, and team chemistry intersect with high stakes. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a shocking turn of events that has sent the sports world into a frenzy, sources close to ESPN are reporting what could be the most audacious moves of the season. Two major stars have reportedly signed with the Dallas Cowboys. The news has already sparked a whirlwind of speculation, debates, and wild predictions across social media, sports talk shows, and locker room chatter, leaving fans of all teams scrambling to process what this could mean for the league's landscape. While the identities of the athletes remain tightly under wraps, insiders hint that these are not just any players. We are talking about game changers, the kind of talent capable of redefining the Cowboys' offense and defense in ways that could reverberate for years to come. Rumors are swirling about the motivations behind these surprising signings. Some suggest that the Cowboys' front office has been quietly orchestrating a strategy that combines star power with strategic depth, aiming to build a roster that can dominate on multiple fronts. Others speculate that the move might be as much about branding and market impact as it is about pure athleticism. One thing is clear. The buzz surrounding this development is electrifying the fan base, and ticket sales, merchandise, and social media engagement are already reflecting the excitement. The timing of these signings has only added fuel to the fire. Analysts are questioning how this will affect team chemistry, offensive schemes, and even the morale of other high-profile players in the league. Fans are already dreaming of highlight reels featuring jaw-dropping plays, last-minute game-turning maneuvers, and headline-grabbing performances that could solidify the Cowboys' reputation as a team that isn't afraid to make bold, headline-grabbing moves. Coaches, commentators, and former players are weighing in, each offering their own take on how this gamble might pay off or backfire. Despite the excitement, caution lingers. The league has seen high-profile acquisitions that failed to meet expectations, and speculation continues about whether these stars can adapt to a new system, mesh with existing talent, and live up to the enormous hype. Still, for now, the narrative is dominated by shock, awe, and uncontainable anticipation. If these rumors hold true, the Cowboys may have just redefined what it means to shake up the NFL landscape, reminding everyone why football is as much about spectacle and bold strategy as it is about grit and athletic skill. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.